here in the real world, I like to believe that I'm a bit of a funny guy, but it seems that whenever I say something funny around the wife or try to do something funny, I don't get much more than a little chuckle. But when I do something stupid or something just goes absolutely wrong and I'm involved, it's just everybody laughs, the wife laughs, it's hilarious to the point where she can hardly breathe for like several minutes. So yesterday's example, there's two of them, so hold on here. First thing in the morning, I wake up, I decide, you know what, it's already noon, I might as well make lunch rather than breakfast. Skip breakfast altogether. Heck with it. So, one of the things I make myself is one of those packages of rice, those Uncle Ben's packages of rice. You put it in the microwave for 90 seconds and they're cooked. So, being busy with cooking the burgers that I was working on, I just took the package out of the oven, out of the cupboard, and threw it into the microwave. 90 seconds. About 50 seconds later, I hear this loud pop in the microwave, and I'm like, oh, immediately just facepalm. I didn't take the top off the package. So the package exploded in the microwave. I got lucky, and there wasn't a big mess. The explosion happened above the rice level. But apparently, that's just the funniest thing I've ever done. I get laughed at forever. I'll never hear the end of it, at least not for a couple weeks. Whatever. Alright, then later on, we have this water cooler. There's a picture, just in case you don't know what a water cooler is, or you're thinking a PC water cooler. We have that water cooler, and there's the jugs of water on top. I had to change out that jug of water yesterday, so I went to pull the old one off, and sure enough, the old one came off, but so did part of the top of the water cooler. So I'm standing there with this big black piece that connects to the water jug when it's normally on there, still attached to the water jug, the empty water jug in my hands, and I just kind of look over while I'm standing there and go, and she looks at me, turns around, and just starts laughing again. Okay, alright, I could have made the funniest joke in the world, wouldn't have even fazed her, but I do something silly or something doesn't go my way, and suddenly it's worth laughing at as hard as you possibly can for the next 2 minutes. Alright, whatever works for you. I fixed the water cooler, by the way. That just went back on and everything seems to be working alright. I mean, I put the new water jug on and there isn't water all over the floor, so I guess we're okay. But anyways, moving on, back to the actual battle. This is why I like these battles. It started a little bit slow, because so far you've seen I've fired, what, 2 shells or something? I've received 1 hit, it bounced. I've done absolutely no damage. BJ, I'm not sure, he might have done 1 shell of damage so far. There's a little bit of a view down there in the bottom right corner. I'm sorry, mobile viewers, if that's really tiny. Did the best I could, and I'm sorry that it's covered in the mini-map. That pained me too. I almost didn't put it there because of that. But we're going to have ourselves a bit of a defending job to do here. So right here where I'm rolling up is kind of my location of choice, as BJ over there fights it out with the mutts. So he does take a hit from the mutts, but he has a much higher alpha. BJ there, I believe he does have the stock turret, which the turret, apparently I didn't know this, that does affect reload time on tanks. I thought it was just the gun, but apparently the turret does too. So right now his reload time is something like 10 or 11 seconds. If he gets the turret, it's 9 seconds or something. But he still has a higher alpha on that Leo. I think it's a 390 versus a 320, 340, something like that on the 54 that I'm driving. But let's see what we can do. So as you can see here, the score right now, it's 4-9. We are losing big time. We are getting surrounded. There's enemies coming from the direction we just came from. There's enemies over here coming from the town that I'm fighting off. And we're all just trying to do some serious sniping right now. And as you can see, I've loaded the gold rounds for the Object 140 because the 140 does have a relatively tough front, especially to a tank a lower tier than it. So loaded the gold rounds, and we'll see how that works out. And the IS-3 just happened to get in the way, so I finished him off. Bit of a nice shot there. Bit of a lucky shot into the 140. We take a hit in return from that Object 430. But that's okay. We'll return the favor there. Still firing those heat rounds. Against tier 9 and 10 mediums, when you're in a tier 9 medium, I think that the heat rounds can be justified. That was another second nice shot. He is covering most of his tank, most of the front of his tank, but still I managed to slip a couple through there. Let's see if we can finish off this Object 140 now. Got him. He was hiding behind the wreck of that IS-3, which made life a little bit difficult for me, but not difficult enough, apparently. And one of the things I've learned here, using the T-54 and other Russian tanks, especially, that have horrible gun depression, is to really look at your terrain and pick out those little tiny bumps in the terrain, little tiny terrain alterations there, that might help you get your gun down a little bit lower, and that's coming real handy here. And BJ, for example, there in his Leo, he has much better gun depression than I do. However, he is actually trying to put that gun depression to work, and there's a few times you might be able to spot where he just didn't quite have enough, where in the T-54, I wouldn't even try to do that. If he was in the T-54, it would have been the same idea. He wouldn't have even tried it. But because he does have the gun depression, he tries to make it work for him. And really, if you've ever been killed by somebody that's on top of a cliff shooting down at you, you will understand having gun depression really does give you a big advantage in a lot of situations. Like, that's as far down as I can get my gun to go right there. And oh, we're getting surrounded here, so I've got to be careful in this bumpy terrain. If I get tracked at the wrong angle, then there's no way I'm going to be able to shoot the guy that's shooting me back. Luckily, I do have my repair kit, so if that does happen, we're okay. But I also need to keep in mind that there is artillery who just fired at BJM there. So I need to kind of keep on the move. I didn't notice at the time that Artie had just fired, otherwise I might have been a little bit more stationary, I suppose, as opposed to wiggling around so much. But didn't really make a big difference. Ah, poor BJ, he got taken out there. That means it's time for me to turn around, shoot this 430, and I got rammed by him. Alright, I probably, you know what, that's worth it. I'll take it. I took a little bit of damage from the ram in there, but I'll take it. Oh boy, there's a guy behind me. He's got more health than me, and let's get out of here. I cannot beat him on my own, so what I'm going to do now is pull him over the hill to where my allies can shoot him, and my allies just so happen to finish taking out the last of the enemy opponents over there a second ago, and ooh, look at that switcheroo. We're behind you now, guy. Not that it helped much. So we're going to put another shot into him, and we almost get ourselves shot by the 62A that finished him off there for us. But we did survive that battle. We're pretty worse for wear. We went from having 0 damage done that game to having done so far over 3,500. That's a pretty big change. I will take that. Even if I die now to this 54 mod 1, I will accept that. And by the way, where is he? According to our minimap, he has not been spotted yet this game. He must be AFK in their cap circle. Well, let's go over there. Hopefully he is AFK, because I really don't feel like taking on a tier 8 medium, even with some help from my allies there, after a fight like that. And most of my allies, they're both at about 1/3 of their health now, so we're not really up for a big fight. If this mod 1 were to somehow surprise us, get a couple shots in without even being spotted or something, then he could really tear us apart. He could still win this for the team. Alright, so we're approaching their base now. Where is he? Alright, so now I'm thinking maybe he's hiding to the left there, behind their flag. That seems a little bit odd. Has he been hiding there the whole game? Is he really that bad of a player? But I guess he's not here. Alright, well, I'll just sit behind this rock and cap then, since I'm not ready for that fight. I'm a one-shot kill to literally everything. So let's sit here and wait and see if he makes his appearance known, his presence known. And in the meantime, we'll just kind of admire that T-95 there a little bit. He has the E5 turret from the Tier 10 American Heavy. Sorry for not being able to actually see him. But there he is. That turret, it's relatively well armed. Doesn't have the gun mantle like the Tier 10 Heavy does. And it's a big turret, especially from the side. So that does make it a bit of a big target. But I think that's a Clan Wars reward tank. So not one that I'm probably ever going to have. I don't think you can even earn it anymore. Maybe you can. I don't even know. Oh, base capture done. Alright, 62A found the 54 mod 1, by the way. Put a shot into him for good measure, and I guess that's the end of the game. So we did pretty good there. Me and BJ, actually, we really turned that, what was that, a 5-9 there for a while? We really turned that battle around. We recovered that. I'm surprised we won. I thought for sure we were done there for a while, but the enemy team just kind of fizzled away and let themselves get picked off a little bit. A few of them made silly mistakes. They didn't push in and rush us. If they would rush us as a team, then we would have been toast. But, well, we win, and I'm okay with that. And by the way, whoever's been using my SpaceGK email address for an Instagram account, go away. I don't need to get the emails from Instagram saying, hey, here, check out these people you just recently followed. Here's some posts they've made. I don't need that. You're going to get me in trouble, man. I mean, the the emails I get from Instagram based on who you've been following and who you've been checking their activity. I don't know. I don't use Instagram. It's like pictures, the profile pictures of these people is like half-naked woman. You're going to get me in trouble. My wife's going to be like, hey, what are you doing signing up with this name here and going behind my back and looking at these half-naked women's profile? I didn't go beyond looking at their profile images. I just saw that was a thing. But hey, guys, no. The amount of spam I've been getting ever since I made this email address from random accounts that I haven't made is ridiculous. So stop it. Stop using my email address. Go make your own. It's probably some young kid who doesn't know how to make their own email address for free, by the way. It's free. You could do it on all kinds of different services, as many as you want, and then signing up to some other account because they don't want their parents to know or something. I don't know. But just stop it. Stop it.